It seems like Hasbro has gotten a brand new employee. Unfortunately, it's not Jordan or I, but it is somebody that knows their way around a camera. Seems like they've gotten somebody that's at least in the toy photography world. They know what they're doing. The poses are looking good. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan. And like I said, it seems like Hasbro must have gotten a brand new employee because a lot of the promotional pictures they're putting out are night and day, way better than what they were before. So I think we're going to do a little share screen action here, kind of go through what I think was probably the last iteration of whoever was taking these pictures beforehand, and then we'll kind of get into what the figures are looking like now, because I don't know, like I said, it just seems like somebody that has done toy photography before is taking the pictures. So share screen, and here we go. So I think the last pictures taken by not the new employee was this totally awesome Hulk wave. Because, like, if we just go to Captain America here, like, that's pretty normal. Obviously, it's a terrible face. You know, he's walking, gonna punch somebody. Not bad. This is pretty classic, like, one leg out, one leg bent.
Right.
Standing straight up. Doesn't take much effort. And that's just the zoomed-in picture of the last picture.
Right.
This one maybe is different, too. Maybe not. No, this is the same as the first one, just white. So, pretty boring. Not bad, but, you know, not really anything special.
Shows what you're getting, but it's not going to be like, whoa, I can pose them like that.
Iron Man standing straight up. Classic flying with repulsor hands. Standing in a weird blasty pose. And then standing with a fist and fist. So, like we said, it's not bad, but it's, you know, anybody could take those pictures. I think the first time we see him, maybe in this pack, but we'll come back to that. I think it's in this Mindless One wave, especially in Blade. So this is just kind of the product shot. You kind of see what you're getting. This one, maybe you're like, Dakota, isn't that the same pose as before? All right, maybe it's not a new employee. But then we get into this. Like, some random person's not just going to think like, oh, Blade just got done, like, chopping up some vampires and, like, going to clean it off with, like, the elbow.
Right.
Like, that's a pretty classic look for anybody fighting vampires, I would think, or just like sword person.
Yeah.
Get into this one. He's like running at you, stake in hand. Sword is backwards now.
That is cool.
Two hands with the little bladed boomerang things. Pulling the sword out of the back.
That's a cool shot too.
And like, this is, I think, an important shot that usually people wouldn't think, but like, if I'm gonna, maybe if I'm doing my own action figure photography, is my figure gonna be able to reach back and like pull their sword? Like, he's not gonna be able to like fully extend and like take the sword out, but can he at least reach back and like start to pull it out? I think that's a cool touch to actually show off more than just the look of the figure, but actually its function too.
Well, yeah, so, it's really just showing like what can you actually do with these, you know.
I think the Ninja one had some good ones too. I think that Blade one was the best though so far.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Showing you can get two hands on the sword. Again, more of the function. Putting the alternate head in there. They really are liking this like sword down.
Like,
which is,
even
I mean,
like
I think
the width of the stance is kind of cool to show you what you can do.
Yeah.
Especially with these kind of figures where it's like you're going to put them in kind of more acrobatic ninja poses.
Again, with the function.
I thought that was a cool, I
Yeah.
remember thinking this is a cool shot.
Cross leg, I think that's, like, because I think a lot of people are going to want to pose her like that. Like, I know with the Doctor Strange, I think a Walmart exclusive, the classic one. Yeah. And in order to do this, you had to, like, cut the skirt piece. So I think that's cool that they can show that just right out of the box you're going to be able to get this. And then going back to that 2-pack, I think the running poses that they have blur in, and then also the fact that they can get Nighthawk to hold all three of his Nighthawk-orangs or whatever he calls them. Like, I mean, this one just standing.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is where the new employees maybe taken over a little bit. But then these running poses, I think, are way better than the typical running poses.
Yeah.
And then I remember this one had a lot of good shots too.
Yeah, this one was cool.
Because like even just this, like them side by side, this would be kind of a boring shot, but like with them together, I think it works out well. This one, who's taking this picture? Because that's so fun. I love this one. Like he's looking over, he's got his fists like, all giddy.
Right.
I think that's super cool. The fact that they put the finger
shot,
guns
too.
on him, and like a classic, you would have the like actual guns, and he'd be like using blast effects. Like this is a very, you would use this for Black Widow jumping with her either stinger effects or her pistols, but they're using finger guns. It's funny.
Yeah.
Walking with the size, but showing off the toe joint down here.
The one with them with all their loot. That's pretty fun.
This one. Yeah, I like that he's got both of the lightsabers. That's just fun.
Yeah.
Lightsaber battling.
Well, you get even depth on this one too.
This one, I didn't even know that you could take the punching glove off of that bazooka until they posted this picture. And they've had that bazooka before, and I had that, I think that old Daredevil or Deadpool at the time, and I tested it out, I took it off, I was like, holy cow, didn't even know you could use this as an alternate hand. So yeah, the shushing finger, these are fun pictures.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember, what was the one, I mean, I know those Avengers ones, but there was some, was it the Spider-Man Carnage? Or there was one that I remember you seeing and texting me and being like, this is just terrible. I don't remember. Was it that one, or was it?
Let's see.
I can't remember now. I know there was one particular batch of photos.
These I don't think do it very good. Like that ab crunch, I think makes the figure look pretty bad. Classic standing with a fist, just showing off whipping hands. Normal just walking and whipping
at the ground, just shooting a web at the sidewalk.
Which, like we said, it's not like you can't. You can see what you're getting, but it's just
where's the cool crouching poses or whatever. It's just kind of like, ooh, here's your toy, and it's like, well, okay, but
and then I think when I really was like, okay, now they've got a new person doing these posing. Was with this X-Men 97 wave, especially with Gambit, which this was about the same time as the Mindless one wave.
Yeah.
But Gambit, standing, that's a normal picture.
And Bishop?
Bishop, yep. Holding his gun in a different way. I've never seen anyone pose like that. Again, showing the function, he's reaching back, grabbing it. They got him in a kneeling pose, which I think is sometimes hard to do, but just showing off that he can do it. Walking, and then pulling the gun farther out of the back. That's pretty good. And I think it does take a little bit of skill to show a good walking pose, because you got to pose the right arm with the right leg, and
well, it takes a lot of tweaking. I mean, you can just plop it down and just take a picture, which some of those other ones look like. It's just we just spent 30 seconds.
Even this pose with Magneto here is it's not like anything special, but I think this is very what you would see him do in the cartoon when he's fighting the X-Men. He's going to be making that force field around him with this pose. It's just something that you would have seen from...
I mean, and this isn't on the website, but remember those... Have you been seeing those Earth's Mightiest shots they've been putting out?
For sure.
That most recent, maybe you can throw it up in the video, but that one of all of them surrounded. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah.
That one was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I agree, like the fact that like they had to have, I guess maybe somebody at Hasbro could have been doing it, but I feel like they could have outsourced that. But if they did, then usually you would put like the watermark of like
Right.
photos
This
by
is
one
so and
sixth
so.
shooter or something. But yeah,
But either way, I mean, that's cool to me that they're just like, hey, we've put out all these figures, and we're just
right.
gonna like have fun and show you some cool
Yeah.
displays you can make.
And I think one of the like when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, now we see why they hired this guy. Not only are they showing off like cool poses, making him look better, but this Spider-Man, they did such a good job of hiding the pins of like the different color pins because you can kind of see it in this picture here,
Mm-hmm.
but the poses they chose hide that so well. Like his backhand is completely hidden.
Right.
This one, they've got his elbows turned
Yeah,
in.
it's a cool shot.
Yeah, still a cool pose. This one,
Round,
you never see the
round
inside of his
pound one.
elbows. It's every single picture hides that thing that people hate. A little bit
Yeah.
there, but it's kind of in the back.
Yeah. Well, and it's just the
Smart.
basic idea of like providing these because people in the groups will be like, hey, share me some poses you've made, or
Mm-hmm.
like just getting ideas, or sharing photos. So even that Captain America right there, like
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool. Like that is way better than that totally awesome Hulk one where he was
Right.
just kind of or even that one of him holding the shield like in front of
crouching
him.
below it.
No,
This one?
that
This
one.
one?
Like that's like from like the movie poster, So
And
like that to
this
me,
is a classic I can do this all day kind of pose.
Right. But you easily could have just had him. I mean, again, we're not super interested in this figure, but it's like that's
Right.
a better way to pose this than that other Captain America who's just like, here's Cap with his hand on his hip,
Right.
and here he is with his shield on his
Yep.
side. It's just like,
And even that
I don't know.
like kind of more looking off into the distance
mm-hmm.
instead of just a straight on type of, like you still get the straight on
Right.
with the last picture, but
Yeah.
yeah.
To me, I like those dynamic shots where it feels like they're in motion or something. So
Yeah. So I don't know if Hasbro got a new employee, but whoever's doing their pictures is doing a way better job than they were before. Because yeah, we did joke about how some of those were very generic or boring, or even like almost did the figure disservice by like showing off the like, oh, if you bend their leg like this, it really like, I know we usually like articulation more than sculpt, but when you're showing your promo pictures and you're showing off how much your articulation breaks up your sculpt is not so great. But I think these new pictures that they're using are, like I said, night and day better. So I did one, I was like, I should reach out to Hasbro, be like, hey, I could take the pictures you're taking and maybe I could do a little bit better. The pictures I got now, I don't know if I could do better.
They're harder to compete with than before.
Exactly. So let us know, did you guys notice this? Does this matter to you? Yeah.
Are we just the only nerds out here?
I was going to say.
I got a new photographer.
We're a new level of nerd. Not only do we collect the action figures, but we pay attention to who's taking the pictures of the action figures. Because, like, Hasbro does seem a lot more generic in their picture taking, even with these ones, versus Mythic Legions, where they'll, like, pay Trevor Williams to, I mean, I assume he's on the payroll, but, like, they'll have Trevor Williams take pictures with, like, a full dio setup, and, like, like that's a legit toy photography shot.
Yeah.
But now Marvel Legends is kind of at least getting their poses into that kind of level. So,
yeah,
like I said, let us know if you even notice this difference or if you even care about this. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.